Adolescence 2025. This isn't a film, this is a series, a limited series. I think they're called mini series as well. And it was on Netflix, and I don't have that. But a friend of mine does, and so I had the opportunity to watch the first two episodes at the start of last week, and then on Thursday I saw the second two episodes, so all four episodes. It's been talked about so much during the last couple of weeks since it was released. A lot of it is because of the discourse around toxic masculinity, or rather the expression toxic masculinization. A lot of the culture, the expectations about what it is to be a man, that's where the problems arise, hence masculinization. That's my take on it. And I've also seen some films like Manosphere, which I ought to review at some point. It's very much about the extremes. It's about binary, very, very binary, ultra masculine and ultra feminine expectations for the population. I've been listening to a lot because there's a lot of people in the middle, and today is Trans Day of Visibility, so I may as well mention that. I thought it would be a good opportunity to mention that the expectations that are put on men are harmful, the expectations that are put on women are harmful. There's so many societal problems, ranging from impossible beauty standards for women to, and also things like the impossible divide in things like the choice many women who want to be mothers face, where they have to juggle childcare with a demanding job, and to have it all can become an impossible expectation. They cannot manage it. There are a lot of things that are very difficult for women. There are a lot of difficulty. There are a lot of things that are difficult for men, and to be free and to be yourself, and to realise that for many of us we're a composite of masculine and feminine, and a lot of in between is a good thing. I know that when I was in school, there was an expectation for how to be certain behaviour, and if you fell outside that behaviour, there was a lot of bullying, merciless bullying. But to flip over, there's quite a lot of bullying if you don't conform on the other side. So I'm not non-binary. I am binary, but I think that there's a lot of difficulties that are unnecessary in society, simply because to be free, to be yourself, means you just be yourself, really. Don't worry. And the whole idea people have that what will other people think, it often happens. I've had that times in my life. I've managed to largely overcome that. I don't worry so much what people think of me. I'm happy being me. So that's actually a long tangent. That's a diversion from what I was going to say about this film. But this film is about a young boy. At the start of his adolescence, he's like 13, and he looks so small. And I'm going to try and avoid spoilers, but I will go on what is covered in the trailer. And it shows a lot of the start where the police break into a house, and there's pandemonium. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's a dawn raid, and the armed police, they just use a battering ram. I've seen that once in Tottenham when I lived up there, and it is ferocious seeing a house being broken into, smashed in as the police pile in. Must be terrifying to be on the inside, to be a recipient, and especially if you feel that you are not not guilty of anything. And in this case, the parents, well, there's Stephen. Oh, I've forgotten his name. I've forgotten right, the father. He's like protesting. I've done nothing wrong. But then they go upstairs to the son's room. It's him who is the suspect in this case. And they go to a police station, and he's taken in for questioning. There's the whole thing. It's done in one single shot. I think they had to do it a second time from what I gather, because I watched a bit of the making of. To the technical skill to be able to do all this, show each episode in one single take, is impressive in its own right. But so easy to make mistakes, I imagine. But so I'm in awe of all the actors and the whole filmmaking process, and it feels like a film. I mean, it'd be a very long film because each episode is 50 minutes and there's 4 of them. But each of these episodes is set on a different day as well. So the first, there's the scenes in the police station. There's the whole the process in quite a lot of detail, and then there's video evidence, and also the young lad Jamie asks when he's shown a picture in the interview suite. He's shown a picture of Katie, the girl in question, and he asks immediately, when he's asked, was she a friend of his, he asks, is she dead then? And that gives one of the interviewing officers, the superintendent, a chance to say, why did you ask that? And then they show him the video, CCTV video. Oh wow, there's been so many cases on the news over the recent years. It's, in some ways it's shocking, in other ways it isn't. Perhaps the shocking thing is that this lad Jamie is 13, because he looks so small. And there's been so much discourse, and until I watched the whole lot, I was turning off the radio. I was not, James O'Brien was talking about it last Thursday, 27th of March, and I hadn't finished watching it at that point. I was really keen. So I listened to that part of the show. I was really keen not to get any spoilers, so I listened to it afterwards. And some of the criticism of the um, series, I think, um, is pretty valid. That um, it focuses on Jamie and his family and the impact on him. And whilst I was watching the second episode, I thought it was going to show the girl's point of view, Katie's um, side of the story. It didn't. There's um, there's an episode where he's interviewed by or chatted to by a counsellor or someone making a woman who's making a report on him, and she's trying to do it in a nice, very gentle, easygoing way. And at times he loses it. He's very, again, it's shown in the trailer, he's very aggressive at times. He's got such a temper. Um, and when you see that, you realise, wow, it's eye opening. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot in the second episode, which is about the school and all the problems. And I've heard people say, oh, schools aren't like that. And then other people on talk radio say, yes, there are schools like that. I can well imagine it being very realistic. I don't know because I haven't any experience of schools, but hearing people talk about it, I trust what they say, that there will be schools very much like this. Um, the fact that they don't show Katie's side of the story, though, I turned to my friend when we were on episode 4 and said to her, I wonder if they could make a second mini series from her point of view. You know, explain things from her point of view, because one thing on talk radio, there are people who are almost who seem to be assuming that she was bullying him, and I was wondering, where did they get that idea? I mean, listen to James O'Brien's show from 27th of March. That is available on YouTube, so even after the week, there's 7 days on catch up, you can still cover it. So I'll put a link to the show on YouTube, because that second hour of that day really was interesting, and it very much accorded to thoughts I'd already had before I saw it, because he was asking that hour about what women thought about it, and some oh no, I won't go into that because it's there for you to listen to. And some thoughts hadn't occurred to me, but some thoughts had, and so I think that's a really good hour. Um, and there's been so much about it. It's been, the Prime Minister's talked about it, wants to make it available to schools for people to watch, but will there be a framework? I saw Natasha Devon had written on Blue Sky saying, is there going to be any discussion accompanying watching this? Because making head or tail of it might take more, because people do get different ideas about stories. I haven't seen any. I've listened to a lot of radio, but I haven't seen a lot of the discourse. Or I haven't listened to a lot of the discourse, but I have heard snippets before I turn the radio off on certain days, and some of it is scary, because this whole manosphere thing about red pills and blue pills. Um, the officer, the superintendent, um, his son is at that same school, and at one point, his son asks if he can talk to him privately, and he talks about the misinterpretation that many of the adults, the police, have. They don't understand um, a lot of the coding that goes on into emojis. They're not understanding it. Uh, all this red pill, blue pill stuff. Um, I don't understand it fully. Didn't understand until I came across this that different heart colours mean different things. I've just been selecting heart colours when I've been on social media. I just use heart colours that I like, but I'm thinking about this a bit more now because I don't really want what what I put on social media to be misinterpreted. And if there's generation gaps, that's what may happen. I mean, what I'm Gen X and maybe millennials and Gen Z, Gen Z people misinterpret stuff I put. I'm fairly minimal in how much I use um, these emojis, but I do put emojis when I'm using Threads and Blue Sky and have done on Facebook as well over the years. So, gosh, there's a lot in this film. The final episode, I mean, they're all eye-opening episodes. There's like um, a lot to do with how the parents and the sister react. And oh my gosh, I really felt for the sister who's caught up in this awful situation. I mean, sure, all of the family, but adults coping in a certain way, and you hear them talking about their guilt and the failings, and they talk about moving away. I won't say much about that because I don't think that um, comes up in the trailer. But what the daughter says, what the parents say, it's very much worth listening to, absorbing, thinking about, talking about. It's a great series. It really is opening the discourse. But it's worth listening to lots of viewpoints because I think some aspects could be misinterpreted. And I think um, boys and men seeing this may take away a different viewpoint from women and girls and non-binary people, for that matter, because of different perspectives, different life experiences. I imagine, for a start, trans men are very different from cis men, and usually their masculinity is a much kinder version. There are a lot of kind cis men about, but there are a lot of defensive, aggressive cis men as well. I try and avoid the people for whom I get that vibe. Just those kind of people. Um, but there's so much more I could say about this, but I think I'll finish here because each of these episodes, they take different elements of the aftermath of a tragic event at certain intervals afterwards. It's like the day after the event, the catastrophic event. Then 3 days afterwards, that's the second episode. Then, when was it? I think it's weeks or months afterwards. Can't remember episode 3. But that's absolutely brilliant as well. Great acting from both the main characters in that film, the interviewer, the counsellor doing the report, and the 13-year-old lad. And then the fourth episode, which is largely focused on the parents and the sister. Wow, it's poignant. It's brilliant. It's definitely a 9 out of 10 in my scoring system. I've thought about it a lot since I've seen it. When I saw it, finished seeing it, watching it last Thursday. There are flaws in it because it doesn't cover Katie's point of view, but there are reasons for that as well, because that can open up criticisms, and instead not having her, all we see is her undeveloped. Just we see her friend, her best friend in the second episode, stuff like that. I mean, there's just so much about the aftermath at different stages after the tragedy, and it's brilliant. I think it's really worthwhile program to watch. I'd recommend it. I'd love to know what you think about this review. There's plenty, as I said, I haven't covered. Could talk ages more. But I think I've covered the main points now. So thanks for watching. Please like if you like this. Please subscribe. Thanks if you subscribe to my film reviews and now series reviews. I will do that occasionally. There are other series I would like to review at some point. Please hit the notification button. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.